Hey, I'm here in the Enterprise D bridge with a special guest. It is... Come out. It is...
George. My uncle said hi. He's sorry he couldn't make the interview today.
It is a blue guy.
Is this a spaceship?
This is Atrocities.
It's awful nice. Does it go fast? Is it warp capable?
Yes. Your seat's right there.
I don't have a seat. Oh, this?
Right there. There you go, right there.
Oh, so Mr. McMuffin.
Okay, I guess we're switching.
Trekkie. What's up?
Hi. I have a few questions for you today.
Fire on the way. Or as what
So, these are very MineTrekkie questions and Trekkie questions. How long you been on MineTrek, Sir Atrocities?
I couldn't really tell you the date that I joined, but a good friend of mine, DBomb72, was recommended I come onto the server and take a look around, and I did so and have never left.
Wow.
Yep.
I just Googled it.
DBomb.
That pretty much answers how you start on MineTrek, which was the next question. Tell me about some of your projects here on MineTrek.
They started out with a short build. It was a PyCon, and I did it on the old Moulin Lube game server, and they imported it here so that they could see my work. And from there, I built a couple other really small ships. I hand-built the Sovereign from the ground up, including the hull. That's why the hull looks like, it does. But the interior and everything else was all done up. And from there, we migrated down ships and finally ended here where we are now on the current project, which is the Enterprise B. And this is the team build. This actual bridge here was designed initially by myself and then revised by Mad Squirrel and Panic 14, and then adjusted again by Impeller. And we folks even had a hand in it, as I think it says over here on the plaque someplace. No, it says here on the plaque, no Betazoids at the helm. So, yep. We're currently working on the D build.
So, quick little side question: how many Enterprise Ds on this server have you been part of?
Just this one, and I've helped out on the original build. I did the medical complex on the original build, and I helped Loki work on some of the stuff on the secondary hull. There's some of the deck stuff on the secondary hull. I also helped contribute to the corridor design slightly. See, that's an entirely different story related to an issue we had with the Voyager, which scared me away from the Voyager for a while. So I went over and started working on my Renegade build, which is a New Orleans class, and then I came up with an idea for how to do the corridors, and I showed it to M, and M took it from there and came up with a pretty cool corridor design for the Enterprise. Revised corridor design.
Just like to say a new bit of technology for this news station here. I now have camera goggles, so that's why I can see first person. Okay. And also a side note, this is very awkward. My guest has better sound quality than I do, so very, very awkward.
Corsair headsets. Don't buy Corsair products. Don't buy Corsair products. Memory's great. Everything else sucks.
I have a dinky
cable duct taped around my microphone so that it won't glitch out on me. So,
it doesn't sound very duct tapey.
No. Well, also I'm sitting in a room with a lot of padded walls.
Yeah, I have an H100i.
How about that?
Oh, shut up. What is your Star Trek history?
I was introduced to Star Trek, the original series, back when I was a little kid around 1975 by another kid that was watching the show. He had a model of the Enterprise, the TOS Enterprise, and he let me play with it, and then he made me break it because I was supposed to crash it. And I went home crying like a little baby. And my mom turned on the show. Used to, here in Portland, used to run every Sunday at 4 o'clock, reruns. And so it just became something I used to watch every Sunday at 4 o'clock when my mom decided to take a nap. And from there, a friend of mine in high school gave me the deck plans to the Enterprise TOS, and I was studying architecture and building layouts and structural engineering and all that stuff, and I just sort of fell in love with how things are made: boats, ships, airplanes, skyscrapers, and just sort of migrated to Minecraft. Minecraft's a wonderful program for allowing people the creative ability to build everything from these big ships to monumental castles and buildings and other structures and stuff. So, not a game so much as it is a creative tool for people with creative aspirations.
Interesting, interesting. I'm not going to tour this because Atrocities is doing that currently, and my computer would die. So.
Yeah, she is a big ship, and I run a Core i5 with a EVGA 1060 now, and I still lag out. I'm lagging out right now watching what you're doing and stuff, and it's just one of those things. It just because the way Minecraft is scripted, coded, it's not real. Java sucks. I'm just gonna say that. Java sucks. But yeah, it pushes everything through a single core, and yeah, anything else you're doing could cause all kinds of problems with it. So yeah, large render distances definitely going to cause problems. She is a big ship.
Yeah, we have a Pentium 3258, not the best.
Pentium. It's a Pentium 4 processor. I guess, I don't know.
Processor.
I'll let that out of the air.
Let's see.
My other advice is don't buy Seagate hard drives. They suck. Suck. Horribly.
That's great. We have some
videos. Whoops, sorry, go for it.
tech advice from Atrocities. And one last question. Tell us about your skin. Are you a Boolean, Andorian without antennas, or just a really evil blue guy?
Well, Grand Moff Thrawn from Star Wars. I had to pick a skin back in the day. I used to run with Star Trek skin, but everybody was using Star Trek skins, and there was a day where nothing loaded. And we couldn't get any skins to load, and I had an alternate skin, which was the one I'm currently using, and I just swapped it, and I've never taken it off. So it just became the sort of skin that everybody identified me with. I don't know who made it, but you can get it off of Planet Minecraft.
All this time, I thought you were a Boolean.
No, I don't cut hair, unfortunately. So there's that. I do fall down elevator shafts pretty frequently. See? Ah! I fall down the elevator
Everyone,
shaft.
Atrocities has just died.
No, I'm impenetrable.
I don't think that's a word you're looking for there.
Yeah, this Enterprise D build, it was initially started in December of last year, so we're just about a year old. We were still working on, and we still are working on the Enterprise E, but the Enterprise E was getting to the point of being burned out. We're into the process of building each of the rooms out, and that is a huge mind suck. And we wanted something new to do. And I had at the time, I had another build on the server called Adventure, which comes from Star Trek Online. And I wanted a bridge for it, so I mocked up a basic Enterprise D style bridge. And I asked my friends, iPanic and Matt Squirrel, to come over, and they took a look at it, and they really just went to town with it and just made it incredibly more detailed. And there was like, you know what? I'll try that. I'll do another deck. So we took the bridge, and I went down to the deck below the bridge, and we ran it by M. Heller. She really liked it, so we got greenlit to start work on the Enterprise D build. And that's how this thing came about. This is actually, I think, version 6 of this bridge, maybe version 7 by now.
Oh good, I thought you were about to say version 6 of the Enterprise D.
Yeah, everything evolves. Everything evolves. It's weird, because you design something and you just love it, and then a year later all the blocks and textures, and so we have more blocks and more textures, they've all changed. So you're like, shit. Oops, that's a dirty word, children. Don't say that word.
I'm about to say something that Atrocities probably does not know. Look at this, Atrocities. This is not an American ship. It's right-hand drive.
Made it. You built a Utopia Planitia shipyards according to ship lore.
Need a little bit of lag there. Okay, it's clearing up.
I noticed that. You're lagging. I'm lagging. Everybody's lagging today. I don't know what to do.
It's a lag fest.
That's a NC fest. Welcome to the wonderful world of Comcast and CenturyLink.
Welcome to the wonderful world of Mediacom.
Yes.
and an Apple Airport Extreme that, well, is fantastic at internet, but doesn't.
MineTrek server.
Well, we probably shouldn't tell you this, but we got a good version of Minecraft that is pretty great. So it was not me actually; it was Ryan, and he was actually the first one to be on here. He's like, Aaron, come down here. I have a really awesome server. The server that I've been wanting to go on. He's like, I'll just do it for you. And then I'll spend the entire day doing it and playing on it, not letting you have it. That's just pretty much how it happened.
Yeah, well, it's really cool because Em Heller, she owns the server and she operates it, pays all the expenses, the IPs and everything, and she keeps it up and running. And I asked her one day what kind of computer she has for this, and the specs are probably close to 30 grand. So, because it's not a computer, it's an Apple. And I tell you, it takes a lot to keep one of these things up and running. So, good luck to anybody who can do it. Especially, God, the amount of bandwidth this thing must push up and downstream every day. It must boggle the mind. So yeah, we wouldn't have the Enterprise D build if it wasn't for Michelle Heller. Yep.
Sadly, she does not have a YouTube channel. Otherwise, I would link it. Well, she is subscribed to me, but it's just a personal thing.
One of these days she might do it when she gets more comfortable with being on recordings and stuff, because technically, I don't know, is this considered being on camera? Because I mean, I'm recording it, but it's technically not a camera, so it's weird. It's just one of those gray areas that I don't think has yet to been fully defined. But everyone says on and off camera, but I'd say on and off recording, because technically that's all I'm doing is recording.
Your soul is being projected out of a blue creature made out of rectangles.
Yeah, it's called voxels. But yeah, you know, something you probably don't realize. I've been playing video games since the, I don't know, late 80s and stuff, and Trek fans, Star Trek fans, as well as Star Wars fans and all those, have dreamed since the dawn of the inception of these two franchises for the ability to explore ships like the Enterprise, the Millennium Falcon, a Star Destroyer, Galaxy class, you know, and Minecraft is the first game to actually give us the ability to not only explore them, but to build them, you know, in these massive scales so that you can but walk around them and stuff. And granted, other games have tried, but they're so resource heavy when it comes to textures, and the 3D mappings and stuff are almost impossible. So Minecraft is really one of those icon things that you only experience once or twice in your life, where you know it's a game changer. You know, that's what I think is why Minecraft has endured so well for so long. Is it's just one of those games like Legos. You just keep coming back for more and more, you know, and you know, it's not really playing a game if you're building something. It's more like modeling. So when people say, "Well, how come you spend so much time playing a stupid video game?" I tell them it's not playing a video game; it's a hobby. You know, it's no different than, you know, somebody who likes to paint. No different than somebody who likes to, you know, sculpt, or draw. That's basically what we're doing. We're doing it with, like you said, little rectangle blocks.
Square. I probably should have said square.
Well, square blocks. Square blocks. Yeah, you said square blocks.
Cubes. I'm stupid.
No, we can't all be as perfect as admins on a server. Intent.
Half the ship has separated and parked yourself right above us.
Yeah, that's the area that we're working on. That's deck 9 and 10 above us. Yeah, this has been December. We had a false start back in January where Blue Phobes, Ipanic, and I discovered that the hull wasn't matching up to what we needed it to be. It wasn't centered for the in any way, shape, or form. And every layer of it was off center by 1 or 3 blocks, and it was causing all sorts of problems. So we had to restart in February of last year. And since February of last year, we've gotten finally down to deck 10. And we're starting to build out on deck 10 now. And it's still working on deck 9 and 8, but, you know, little bits in here, little bits and bobs and stuff. But hopefully by a year from now, we might actually have something worth looking at. Is
deck 10 still just magenta outlines, or do you have anything built up in it? I haven't seen deck 10 lately.
Mad Squirrel and Ipanic did up 10 forward. Ipanic made a theater. It's affecting deck 10. I just put in a bunch of escape pods, an impeller, blue folks, and a few folks worked on the engine bay. So she's got some stuff in it, but not too much. So there are a lot of contributors to these builds, and some of the guys aren't around anymore, like Panic and Mads. He's mostly idle these days because I think he wants iPanic to come back to the server, and they work well as a companion group. So, and they're fun to work with, but I don't know if Panic will ever come back or not. It's something that it's up to him. It's his life. He will one day. It is. Things change. People move on. People fall down turbo lift shafts, like Dr. Pulaski. Yeah, I don't know how many, Dr. Pulaski was the doctor from TOS in the second series, and the running joke is she was killed more times than not by falling through an elevator shaft. She was on a TV show, I don't remember what it was called, I think it was LA Law, and she died by stepping into an elevator shaft and falling to her death. So the running joke is that in Star Trek, the reason she's no longer on the Enterprise is she stepped into an empty turbo lift and bounced off the floor.
Do you know that one TOS episode, it had the Medusans in it and little treasure chests of glowing lights?
I couldn't tell you. It's been so long since I've watched any TOS episode.
There was this lady, she was like escorting the chests full of ugly creatures. She was Dr. Pulaski.
Yes. A lot of those characters, actors, were reused a lot in TOS because, again, Gene Roddenberry and gosh darn, I know her name as an actress, but I can't think of
Madrigal Barrett.
Friends. Yeah, that would have been his wife, Gene Roddenberry's wife.
She's
Nurse Chapel.
Yeah, Nurse Chapel. That's the name I was thinking of.
She also played number 1 in the original pilot, where the captain's name was Christopher Pike. And again, for a show that was made in the late '60s, its enduring quality. Here's something that really cracks me up. Talking about enduring quality of science fiction. People are like, I hate science fiction. Really? Well, I think anybody who likes science fiction are just a bunch of nerds and retards. Really? Okay, 8 of the top grossing movies of all time. What are they? Well, I don't know. Science fiction movies. Look it up. So if science fiction is such a horrible thing, then why do so many people pay so much money to go and see science fiction movies? Why is it that Star Trek and Star Wars, Babylon 5, these are names known around the world and virtually by every human being on the planet? So yeah, I guess everybody on the planet must be a closet nerd then. So, but yeah, it's just amazing. Something made in the '60s is still, to this day, I mean, it's got an active online game. They're talking about a new series, and we just had a movie. So maybe we'll get another 50 years of Star Trek. Who knows?
So, I have a question from someone else, real quick.
I was just going to bring up a point about the multiple roles, same actor thing. Do you know who Jeffrey Combs is?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
About same actor, multiple characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jeffrey Combs played the most, because there's like at least 3. Yeah, Wei Yun, Shran, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Yeah, I think there's a list of them. I think he's one of the rare ones that's actually been on more than one series. I think Michael Dorn is one too, but and there was another actor.
Yeah, but he was playing the same character, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then the guy that holds the record was the guy who played the Admiral in Enterprise. I can't think of his name, but he's the guy that gave Archer the ship.
Admiral Gardner.
He's played in all of them. Yeah. That actor's played in every franchise of Star Trek, not including TOS. But yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of actors out there that, especially if you see a show like made up in Canada like Stargate, you start to recognize a lot of the same actors.
Jeffrey Combs' other character was Liquidator Brunt in DS9.
Yes.
Yeah. He was Wei Yun. One of the greatest scenes of DS9. You got Wei Yun, Ducat. I can't remember the actor's name who plays Ducat, but the guy's a brilliant actor. And Cisco, Avery Brooks. And Cisco had a bottle of poison wine, or Canar. He walks up and he sits it down on the table, and they're like, well, we know this is poison, sort of a thing. And what's Wei Yun do? Well, him and Ducat are sparring with words. Wei Yun drinks the poison, and they both stop and look at him like, you crazy.
Yeah.
It was quite toxic, I assure you. That was one of the greatest scenes in all of Star Trek. That and the scene from the original Star Trek Next Generation second season, where these creatures, these lizards and these dog creatures, are like hunting each other on the Enterprise, and one of them snares Riker. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember that.
I still laugh. I think that's one of the.
Okay.
The Saleh. That's I think what they're called. The Antikins and the Saleh. I remember that was the first episode of Star Trek The Next Generation I saw. Was that episode? I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay, my favorite scene was Sacrifice of Angels. That first battle scene. That was.
You know, it's funny that it was Star Trek: The Next Generation. It really didn't hit its until yesterday's Enterprise. When that came out, that cemented it as a viable series.
Yeah, season 3.
Yep, and Eric Stilwell, the guy who mostly wrote that, was never wrote another episode of Star Trek. He was a gaffer or something, basically a real low-level employee of Paramount at that time. And he wrote it, and it was the turning point for Star Trek. I don't think they would have gotten a 4th season if it wasn't for that episode. So, because that drew in a lot of fans. They wanted to see something like that. And that set a whole new course for Star Trek, because they moved away from the Gene Roddenberry, style of storytelling to the Rick, gosh darn it, I know the guy's name, the producer Rick's style. And it made it much more convincing, because it's pretty painful to go back and watch the first 2 seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation. It's very painful. Don't recommend it. Rather get a root canal than go through that torture again.
So let's just thank Atrocities again. Wait, have we?
One more question.
Okay, Ron.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the JJ universe?
I like the movies. I just think they're full of shit.
I
do like the movies. Transwarp transporters.
It's a transwarp beaming device, sir. That was weird. Okay. So, thanks again to LordAtrocities for giving us very enlightening answers to all my less than enlightening questions.
Oh, no problem. I hope you can get more folks to talk to. You should try to get Em Heller one day. She's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Star Trek stuff. Without her, none of this would be possible. Don't forget, you should go after Captain Cyborg too. He's a really good guy.
I know, but he's never available very much.
Try to get Cassandra too. I mean, he loves to talk, and if you could get him and talk with him and stuff, it would be a never-ending laugh fest. Oh yes, and Shadow. Don't forget Shadow. I mean, that guy too, man. Go look at his build. It's just amazing. It was nice chatting with you there, and I will catch you on the flip side.
Thank you. He disappeared into the corridors there. Just follow him. Paparazzi! 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 He's gonna pull out a gun! Paparazzi!
I'm lost. I'm just looking around there.
Bye. Okay.
Alrighty, guys.
And see you later.
Yeah, have fun. Hope I give you something to do for the next couple hours. Oh my god, he said shit. Damn. Oh, where's the beat command?